Hey guys, episode 5 of Rock to Talk with the Silver Fox. Today's been a really good, kind of neat day for me in music. I got to go visit and pay my tribute to the grave of Randy Rhoads today in San Bernardino, California. It was pretty cool. And today I'm going to be talking to one of the funnest bands we've ever had the chance to share the stage with. And they do it with two people. And they are awesome. I mean, that's the only way I could describe it. I mean, you've got the really good one with its long hair and everything, and then you got Nikki. And so from Krash Karma with me. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Hi,
Awesome.
doing great.
Happy to be here.
To be where?
To be in our living room talking to you.
Got a lot of that. People in their living rooms, people in the basement, wherever. So
Yep.
2020, we've established in the first 4 shows, really sucked for live music scene. But I've noticed
Live
you guys,
music?
pardon me?
Live music? What's that?
Exactly. The thing I've noticed, you guys have still been busy. Every time I turn around, there's a new Krash Karma video. I mean, and creative. And I mean, some are new, some are covers. I mean, if I go through your guys' YouTube channel, which everybody go to YouTube, KRASHKARMA, Krash Karma, and subscribe to their channel. While you do it, stop over at mine at Rock to Talk at the Silver Fox and subscribe to mine too. But check out their videos. They're pretty badass. And some of them are really creative.
Thank you.
How do you choose which one of those you guys are going to do?
Like the covers or just as a whole or
Both, I guess. Start with
Okay.
the covers. I was surprised when you guys did Damage Inc.
yeah, that was fun.
Damage Inc. for me is a special song because back in 1987, when Metallica continued their Master of Puppets tour and had Jason Newsted as a new bass player, they called this the Damage Incorporated tour. And one of the first stops was in my hometown. And I accidentally, as a little kid, stopped by and saw that show. So that was my introduction to Metallica. So the first thing I remember of Metallica is this poster with a skull and the 2 beds with the spikes to the skull and Damage Incorporated. And I was like, what is this? And they played Massive Puppets and Battery and, of course, Damage Incorporated. So that song was always very high on my list. And when we were stuck here at home and couldn't go on tour, we decided, you know what, we can get still exposure. So let's put some videos out. But we also knew, usually we spend money on promotion to get people to the show. But this time we knew there's no point in spending money on promotion because no one will come to the show. So we will not recoup with anything. So we decided, let's do some covers, because with covers we can post it in Facebook groups, we can post it on YouTube, and fans of music of those bands will find us. So that's a good way to have promotion for more or less free. So we decided, let's do some covers and try to get fans from other bands to like us. And Metallica was one of the reasons why we do what we do. And that was just my favorite song.
Whereabouts in Germany are you again from, Ralph? Like Stuttgart, I think?
Yes, the Southwest, Stuttgart.
I was in Berlin, and I was out there in 87, 88.
Okay, so
Wow.
because there's Berlin and then there's Berlin. There's a pre-Berlin and a post-Berlin. And you have been to the real Berlin.
I was to both.
Pre-Berlin.
Yes.
I was to both. I was there with the wall and without the wall.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was there when it came down.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, and I remember seeing Metallica there in Berlin on the Black album.
Okay.
But the other album that you were talking about, I remember seeing them in Wisconsin on that tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that was with Cliff Burton still, huh?
No.
That was also with Jason Newsted already. Okay.
Yeah, Jason Newsted came on. I think Cliff died before Kill 'Em All or recording Kill 'Em All. I believe so.
Cliff died after Master Puppets.
Take your word for it.
Kill 'Em All was the
Take your
first
word
album.
for it.
Kill 'Em All was the first album. It was Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Massive Puppets.
Okay.
And then they did their tour for Massive Puppets, and he died in an accident in Sweden. But you might be right that they started the tour in Europe, and then they continued the rest of the tour in the States with Jason Newsted, probably.
Yeah, so I was like, and then you kind of threw everybody with a curveball and came out with Cruel Summer, Bananarama. Really?
Wait, that was actually older. We did that last year or in 2000.
Yeah, that was our single for 2019.
Yeah.
But it was such a fitting song for last year's, for the 2020 summer, because that was a cool summer. So we just posted it, but it took off from there, and everybody loved it because that was indeed the cool summer.
It was more relatable in 2020 than 2019 somehow.
And the reason we did Cruel Summer is because we are big fans of that series Cobra Kai.
Okay.
If you're familiar, and we love
Oh, yeah,
it.
yeah, familiar.
But check it out. So when that second season ended, it ended with Cruel Summer. We knew we have to do a cover of this song.
A metal cover.
A metal cover. And this is why we did Cruel Summer. But check this out. Next week, we're going to release our new single, and we wrote an original for Cobra Kai, and it's called Strike First.
So that's what we're doing right now. As we're talking, we're working.
Who's recording these for you guys? Are you guys DIY in that, doing it yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Everything.
When the whole lockdown started in April, we gave up our rehearsal room and we converted our garage into a studio. And so I drilled a big hole in the wall and got all the cables to the living room. So the living room is basically the
Control room.
The control room. Yeah. The garage is the recording room, and we also put up a green screen. So all the videos you see are basically shot with a GoPro and a cell phone in our garage.
We do everything ourselves.
You know what? Yeah. Well, I believe that you guys, this is what you do for a living. You don't have side jobs. You have Krash Karma.
Yes.
The money that doesn't bring in is what you have.
And we had the biggest year ahead. We had the whole year booked until next July or this July. I'm not sure, but probably most of the shows won't happen. But we had 2 European tours booked and 2 United US tours.
That got canceled. Yeah.
Well, I'm about crying. Like, I manage Left of Reason out of Wisconsin, and I had us booked because I come out here to California where you guys are not far away, and I had us booked from March all the way to the end of July, and then COVID hit the middle of my booking, and I kind of went, "Are you serious?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Because we were also talking about doing some shows and stuff. So I remember.
Absolutely, we were. Yeah. You and I had conversations with you guys about hooking up with you in the Midwest.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, 2020 just kicked live music right in the nuts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some of your other videos, I mean, it seems like you spliced the part in, and I forget which song you did, but in Wake Up, where one of your videos I thought was awesome, and I forget, was it Drake or somebody did some song with people dancing outside their cars?
Yeah, that was Wake 'Em Up. Yeah, we took the Drake challenge and turned it into the Karma challenge.
But that was awesome. And then I saw the follow-up to yours, and we'll get to that in a minute.
I mean, the whole thing was when we released our album, that was the hot thing back then. So we thought, you know what? Let's just do this 15-second clip where we promote the album. And so Nikki, we were on tour somewhere. We were in
Wyoming.
We were in Wyoming. Where Billy the Kid, Butch and Sundance Kid. Yeah. I don't know.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
And so somewhere they know where they're from. So that's where we filmed this whole thing. And Nikki jumped out of the van, and this thing went viral really quick. It just got 100,000 clicks, and we're like, wow, people really like this. And then some other metal page ripped it, and it got 1 million views. And all of a sudden, this was our most well-known song of all times on Spotify and everywhere. And then we're like, we should shoot a video for this. So we took the original footage that we did for this little clip in the beginning of the video.
I remember when I originally saw it, obviously I follow you guys on Facebook. And by the way, if you're not one of those 65,869 followers they have. Yeah, I said that number right. 65,869, which is insane. When I saw that, I was like, holy shit, did you just see that? And I'm sitting around a bunch of my friends, and we're all music people. And they're like, what are you talking about? Have you seen what Krash Karma just did? They're like, no, what'd they do? And I showed it to them, and they were like, that's badass. And I kind of looked at our drummer, and I said, all right, dude, can you do that? And he was like, I can shake my ass like that, but I don't know if I want to walk right up to a kid and just sit down and start playing.
And so you saw the other people who did the challenge, and after that?
I did not. I did not.
We had some really funny people just like do some like follow-ups. They took the song and then did their own version of it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
So we started a little.
I saw Ralph's version of it. But Nikki's was like, how do I say this in a nice way? It was really cool and sexy, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it goes. Ralph's had me dying laughing and showing. I think I showed Ralph's more than I showed yours. People are like, what is he doing? And then I go, well, here, look at this. And then I'd go back and I would show a quick little clip of you.
Yeah.
Then we go back to yours. No, watch the end. Watch the tire come flying at you.
It's about the tire. It's all about the tire.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it's great. It looks like you have fun doing this stuff.
Of course. What else?
That's what we do.
It's like your video girl with a hammer. Just, oh, let's be Harley Quinn today. And oh, that really works. And oh, I've seen Krash Karma probably 10, 15 times. I go back ways with you. I go back further than you think with you guys.
Nice.
I was actually managing another band that I saw you the first time at the Back Bar in Janesville.
Okay, cool.
A band called Rockstar, a cover band. Then I was like,
yeah, cool.
And I'm like watching you guys set up, and I'm like, you're like, oh no, go ahead, set your stuff up. I'm like, well, you're the headliner. Why are we backlining everything? Oh, we don't need that much space. And I'm just talking to, I think Ralph maybe. And I was like, okay. And the rest of the band must be on the way. When Mickey's over there setting up merch, Ralph is moving this. And I'm like, oh, okay. And you guys got up there and we all kind of went, check this out. And then you get the story on how, and Ralph, you'll probably have to explain to everybody how you make your Franken guitar, whatever we calling it today. But that thing is awesome. So your dad made that for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I built it together with my dad. He's an electrician. So I always had the idea, or not always, but we had so many bass players. So at one point we had a tour, we had a song on the radio, and we spent a bunch of money on promotion. So we had to do this tour.
Festivals. Yeah.
So I had to come up with the idea because I also play a lot of bass on the albums. And so I realized that a lot of the stuff I'm playing is just doubling up what I'm playing on the low E string anyway on my guitar. So I thought, you know what? If it's doubling up what I'm playing on the E string anyway, how about I get a one string pickup? One pickup, then in addition to my normal guitar setup, picks up only the E string, goes down an octave lower, and has a separate output on my guitar, and a separate amp, and separate pedals, separate effects and everything. So I was sawing pickups in half and drilling holes in guitars, batteries, active, passive pickups. And so I did different versions of it. And then at the end, I made it happen. I found a setup that sounded better than any bass player I played with. And then we realized, screw it, this is going to be the way. And then it made also sense because ever since we're two-piece, we decided, Nikki's going to be in the front and I'm going to be in the front. So we're going to be the Krash and the Karma, and it's going to be a two-piece band, and it's going to be a stereo assault and it's on all senses.
A stereo assault on all senses. I like that. Write that one down.
Yeah.
And then, Nikki, you got to have some of the best balance in the world. I mean, that's usually saved for like these lead singers that don't ever touch an instrument, you know, that, you know, they can climb stuff, do this, do that. I turn around and I look, and you're standing on that kit, you're standing on a chair, it's rotating everywhere around on your throne. First time I saw you up there, I'm like, damn, that bitch is gonna eat it.
How many times I've thought that while I'm standing up there, you will never know.
And you know what? I gotta tell you, all of us ate it at least one time.
At least once.
Nick, but what? I ate it live definitely a few times.
Nikki, I ate it live once. No,
Nikki ate it live once in the rehearsal
room.
In the rehearsal
I can remember. Room. Yeah, that was good.
So you actually have to have. I don't guess you don't have to have. I think you guys built a like a heavy duty rack or cage for your drum kit.
Yeah.
Because I know Ralph climbs around on it too.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
It's like
start like that though.
It's like a community jungle gym. I mean,
you should have seen the first versions they made out of wood, and I just like screwed them together, and they were really riggedy.
It was like, yeah, it was not safe.
You needed a helmet and elbow pads and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
now we have a pretty good version of it that's mostly safe, but I ate it on that in the rehearsal room once, and we thought I was gonna die, but luckily we're ninjas in our spare time, so you know.
Anybody who hasn't seen these guys on stage, they literally they set the drum kit up and Ralph's great array of amps and stuff he puts it under and pedals and everything side by side up front, and they like go up on top of their amps, they'll climb on top of the drum kit. And I always think drummers are kind of freaks anyways. How are you supposed to be moving 4 different ways and keeping time? That's crazy. I can't do it, but you do it, climb around and sing.
I have fun with it.
I know, and that's why I thought the only person I can pull off a 2-piece is Nikki. So what she's doing is way beyond what I'm doing. I only play guitar and bass, but what she's doing, that's nuts.
You're playing 2 instruments, climbing around on your amps, singing. No, you guys are a true duet. And the more I watched videos and looked at even some of your older stuff, you guys are like a duet across the board. There's very few songs that only Nikki sings, or very few songs that only Rolf sings.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are in there working it together.
For sure. Yeah. That's the jam.
Yeah. That's impressive. I mean, and how long have you guys been doing this now?
As a 2-piece since 2015.
Or it was a 3-piece or something?
I don't know. We are like the musical chairs of bands. We started as 4 people, and then we were 3, and now we're 2. And you know what? When the music stops, the only person who's sitting is Nikki.
My throne, move out.
You know it.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. One of my interviews I did with the band was from the Almas, and I kind of watched them move on up, and they're out touring all over the country when the world's not broke. And you know, they have their lead singer's a girl, and she gets stuck in a van with like 4 guys.
Oh yeah.
And I can imagine that doesn't smell all that well. Because we're getting in our bus, you know, when there's 5 of us, and we're like, yeah, open the window, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
But you guys are lucky in the fact that it's just the 2 of you. But still, I do my best never to treat a female in the rock world different than anybody else. The way I was raised means I'm just not as crude, I guess, around girls. You know, if you walk away, I may tell Ralph just about anything, or I may just flip over and say it to him in German, you know. But how do you feel people are treating you out there in the rock world?
I mean, when we were a 4-piece, I was doing the whole in a band with 4 dudes in a van, but you know, mostly when you have that kind of a family it gets to be that, they treat me like one of the guys. It's always kind of been like that. But, I'm still a girl and I have different needs and feelings and than men do. But as a whole, I think it's gotten better over time. Like when I first started out playing drums, it was always like, I have to prove something, and everyone's always, oh, a girl drummer, and it's just, I always have to prove a little bit more than anybody else, and that was just something that it was. And I think as time has moved on, there's a lot more women in the metal industry, in the rock industry, and also drummers. And just as a whole, there's a lot more of a female presence now than there was when I first started playing. So overall, it's been amazing. And, people always try to trample over you or treat you differently as a woman. But overall, most men in this particular genre are giant rock and roll teddy bears. And I have great experiences with most everyone. I don't have anything to complain about.
Yeah, I can attest. See, I've got two daughters, and a wife that are all pretty strong women, like strong female personality women, and don't put them in a box type people. And one of my daughters is in a band also, and I know in the beginning, I was one of them. Here comes Nikki, sits down behind the kit, and I went, okay, let's see how this goes.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And in the beginning, when I first saw you, I wouldn't have said that to a dude. I would not have said that about a guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Through my re-education for my wife and daughters, now people are like, oh man, that chick is a really good drummer. Or whenever they screw up and say, oh, she's a really good chick drummer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Totally. Don't ever say she's a pretty good drummer for a chick.
Oh yeah. That's the best.
You can't do it. I'm telling you, you can't do what she does.
Totally.
So now I just say, whenever I hear anybody say that at the last couple of shows, I says, yeah, she's a fantastic drummer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know why you got to say she's a chick. Now, if you want to say, wow, that's a really good looking lady. Yeah, I get that.
Totally. That's a different thing.
Yeah, but if you want to say, quantify, your drumming because you're a female, I was always just wondering, like, how did the other venues or the fans or even other bands treat you? I mean, your guys I know will treat you well because, quite frankly, you probably ruled the roost. So
like I said, most everywhere it's been pretty good. I've been pretty lucky with the people having a good response. I'm very personable and easy to get along with, and I don't take any shit, and usually everybody's pretty good about things, so I don't, and if not, I sick this one on them, so
comes at you with that long hair, watch out.
Yeah.
I think Ralph sees probably more of the bad stuff than I do, because I just don't pay attention to anything that is going on around me that isn't that's not positive, or that's not working in my direction for what I'm going for. He probably deals with it more than I do, like hearing guy talk and things like that. I'm oblivious to it.
Well, Ralph, let me give you a little secret here. When I was back in 87, 88, when my band was touring around in Eastern Europe and a little bit in Western Europe, mm-hmm. I spoke German back then. And when I didn't want to talk to the other bands or they were being jerks, I just conveniently forgot how to speak German. Mm-hmm. Sorry, dude, don't understand you. Keine Ahnung.
Keine Ahnung. Yeah.
That's my favorite one. Nicht verstehst, nicht verstehst.
Verstehst nicht. You can pull that line. They can pull that deal here in America. Just turn around, look at them, and go, "Wie bitte?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I did both ways.
Yeah.
I pulled the American card in Germany as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand German, sorry.
We're from LA.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let me get back to your YouTube a minute. How many videos do you have? Because I watched like 8 or 9.
so many that we don't
Way
know how
more.
many
Yeah.
videos. I have no idea.
8 or 9 like this year maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing. I just kind of started from the top, let it play. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Let it play. Oh, I like that.
We do videos all the time, that's especially now, that's our main thing that we're doing, so we get inspiration, we write a song, and then we make a video for it, and it's all kind of part of the whole thing, the whole creative process. And we've been doing this entire year, and even before this year we've been doing that, but now that's all we're kind of doing. So it comes out decently regularly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You guys are like a regular video coming out. Like, oh, when Girl with a Hammer, you did that video. I was like, oh, this is a really cool video. And then when I went to show somebody else the video, there was 2 more. I was like, what? Excuse me. How did I miss that?
Yeah. I mean, we're living in a visual age, and for us to promote a song, the easiest way is just to record a video. And we discovered 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago, when we did this cover for this K-pop song, "Killed Is Love," and we had like millions of hits on this song, millions of hits. Then we discovered and decided, you know what? People are not so much interested, in our case, in seeing the super duper high glossy production video. They just want to see 2 people perform a song. And if the song is good, then it's good enough for people to share. So we kind of like scaled back on, okay, we don't need a super production, but we need good songs. And so we started putting out more and more videos where it's just, okay, basically it's just Nikki and I playing in the rehearsal room, the song more or less live, and then we're gonna splice in some other footage, and then a video evolves around this. But therefore we always knew, okay, it seems like people want to watch us play that song. And so videos, just we started releasing videos on a way faster turnaround.
Face it, I mean, YouTube is possibly one of the best, has the chance of being the best money maker on social media.
Definitely.
If you get enough subscribers to your channel or enough people to look at your video, you can monetize it and you can make money.
We do that.
Yeah. Oh, I believe me, I've watched. I've been cheering it around, and sometimes I'll just go, and I can tell you this past week, I probably put the Krash Karma channel on and got up and worked on something and just let it play.
Thank you.
Just
Awesome.
number one to listen to it. Number 2, I understand the view thing and the subscribe thing, and I try to show a lot of my friends love, and especially the ones that are either close or already there at that mark, where they need it to be.
Yeah, that's good.
Versus Spotify, where we're getting like pennies on the dollar. And congratulations, I'm going to put this podcast on Spotify, and I just kicked them in the nuts. But
hey, it is what it is. It's the only thing that we can do right now. It's the most popular thing, and what are we going to do? And we'll take our pennies.
yeah, at this time you'll take just about anything. I mean,
yeah.
So you guys don't work with a booking agent either, do you?
We work with different booking people across the across the globe, really. But like in the U.S., I'm kind of the lead and taking the front on the booking here, and he does the stuff in Europe. And we work with other people. Like we have a lot of people that we work with, but not an agent or a company.
And how is touring in the U.S. versus touring in Europe different?
And in Europe, there's only so much you can really do. Like in the U.S., you could tour the whole year and never hit the same city twice. And in Europe, you can do a round and that's it. There's only so many cities you can go to there, even though it's a lot of countries. But
I mean, in Europe, you either have a good following in the cities, and then you can play a show anytime, or you have a release. It's for everybody. If you work with bigger people and a booker, they always want you to have a new release. And then they know, okay, the tour is going to be well promoted and magazines write about you, and you have a certain presence. That's definitely the main difference, I feel. When I try to book shows in Europe, they're like, yeah, so when's your album coming out? What are you promoting? Like, we have nothing coming out. We're just going to come and play. So it's definitely way easier to book a tour in Europe when you have a release than the United States.
Well, I haven't been over there in, God, 25 years, I guess. But the one thing I always remembered about Europe, and especially Germany, Berlin, was they're open to something new.
Definitely.
And I found it was easier because we could sell a shit ton of merch like that, especially if we went to Eastern Europe. When the wall first came down,
I bet.
You go over to Prague and Warsaw and over there.
Oh, yeah.
You sell 2,000 shirts in a run. And
yeah, for sure.
And make more money than you did on the gigs. But
I love touring over there. I think it's the coolest thing ever, but I'm from here. So for me, going over there and touring and it just seems like a different kind of appreciation. All, the clubs, they take care of you. They give you a place to stay. They feed you. You get a good guarantee, and the people, like you said, are really open to new music, and, they're going to give you a shot no matter what. And, but in the US, it's also, we find this depending,
I mean, over there, everything's just way more organized. For example, the sound check over there, you hit on your snare drum for 10 minutes.
Totally.
Bang, bang. And it's like, no, I don't get it right. And United States, you do bang, yeah, kick
Done.
drum,
Yeah.
tom, done. Over there, you spend 10 minutes on the snare.
Yeah. I can't say that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It's
like
kind
a
of like
situation. We're here. It's like, line check, go. A good portion of the time.
I feel like in the United States, it's more like I always say, the Wild West. We are on a van. Our van is a pirate ship, and then we go from city to city, raid it, and then we leave, and then keep our journey going. And in Europe, it's definitely way more organized. Okay, you're the band. Okay, here's your green room, and here those 2,000 beers are for you tonight. And then over here is the food, and then here comes the food for after the show, and here's more drinks, and your hotel. And in America, it's like, you have a little corner right there, and this is basically where your green room is, and your stage, and where you change, and
2 drink tickets.
Drink ticket.
Drink ticket.
Yeah. I guess it's good and bad. I do remember sound checks taking forever.
Yeah.
Like forever. It's like, dude, just get it close. It's gonna change once the show starts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what most sound guys do in America is like, hey, is that close? And you're like, yeah.
I can work with that. Yeah.
But over here, I think, and I don't remember it in Europe so much, but over here, you always run into that prima donna singer, prima donna guitar player that's like, I can't hear myself, and go over and start turning up his own shit and just ruining the mix for everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, I even look at, I got a lot of friends that do sound, and they'll look at me and go, dude, I cannot turn him any louder in the monitor. There is none to be had. And
But it also, in the US, I feel like there's always like 5 to 10 bands in a night. It's a ridiculous amount of bands that we book here, and it's it's a little bit more high stress for everybody because everyone's trying to be on a time schedule, and it's
I wish they were trying to be on a time schedule.
Yeah.
Everybody got the same one. How come you are 15 minutes late?
Yeah. And it doesn't always work out, and that's the problem with booking 5 to 6 bands is how could it ever possibly work out?
It never does.
It never can. It's impossible.
I'm going to toot my own horn here. My Rock to Stop 22 show I do every year. First year was 10 bands. The second one was 11. Last year was 6. And we were never more than a minute over.
Nice. Good job.
Good stage manager.
Good job. Yeah.
You give everybody enough time. You build in 20-minute changeovers. And you just tell them point blank, I don't care when you start. Here's your end time.
Exactly. That's the deal. That's the major thing is this is when it's done. So do what you need to do, but this is when it's over.
If you want to stand up there for 10 minutes banging on your snare drum, then you're not in Europe anymore, Cinderella.
Definitely. Yeah.
When do you see yourselves going back to Europe?
Well, we just had the most badass European tour, not in September, October. We had another tour that's supposed to start, I
In
think, like in March.
yeah.
But you know what? The next thing is we have 2 festivals this year booked. So maybe we go over there in July and August.
Yeah, not sure
Or
yet.
maybe not. We're talking about also a festival in October.
Mhm.
I doubt that July is going to happen. I hope the one in October is going to happen. So, but we have a bunch of shows that we just keep pushing and canceling. So, in
Yeah.
theory, we're going to go over as soon as the thing probably stops.
Yeah. As soon as we're able, things will move back into progress land. So well, let's see how this whole virus pans out in the next couple of months. That's all we can really do at this point.
I am with you.
Yeah.
I'm all for doing it safe. I really am.
Me too.
But
yeah.
and being here in California, in Wisconsin, I stayed super safe. Here in California, they give you no choice.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
my daughters, I have a daughter that lives in LA, and you know, she got it
Really?
Where?
in LA.
No, what? How?
Believe it or not, I'm not quite sure. She isn't either. She
Wow.
works in I'm guessing that she lives with her boyfriend. I take that back. I know how she got it. Her and her boyfriend went to a family function, and one of the family members got exposed by somebody else.
Yep. That's how it goes.
And it's the first time she left her house in like a month and a half.
Damn.
Yeah. It's
She was
terrible.
supposed to pick us up from the airport.
Oh man.
I was in Chicago getting ready to fly here. Yeah, I can't come get you. So I'd have my 75-year-old in-laws drive from the Inland Empire to LA to pick me up. And
Wow.
Ooh.
But she's okay. She recovered. Everything's fine.
as of yesterday, when we talked to her, she said it's the best she's felt. So she didn't
Okay.
get it hard.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're about doing it safe too. You know, I don't see an end in sight yet. And that's the part, you know, I don't know what the answer is, except just to do what we can to stay safe and stay inside and try to get this thing over with.
And maybe I'm an optimist. I think we are about 2 weeks away from the peak.
Mhm.
And then it's going to start coming down.
I hope so too.
Probably.
I would love to have a spring tour. I mean, I'm used to being on the road 100, 150 days a year.
Yeah.
And last year it was 4
dates. Yeah.
whole year.
Mhm.
That's what we did too, huh? I think we had 4 dates
Yeah.
last year.
That's it.
You know, and it was my year that I was so proud of myself. I swear to God, I was. I'm like, yeah, this and that. I'm even calling you guys, you know, hey, I'm trying to finish up this here. You guys coming through? Let's hook up with this. And then, yeah, the world broke. And
The world broke. It did.
I mean, we probably had to cancel around probably 100 shows, probably. But on the other hand, we've been doing this for the last 10 years, touring and touring. So we never had a whole year spending somewhere. And so it was also nice to just settle down for a second, get a studio done. You know, we think the idea of the band, where's the sound going, make things better, go in the rehearsal room and work on some new stuff. And we're definitely gonna come out stronger than we were before and better.
Definitely.
that I'm excited to see. I mean, you come through our area, and as long as we're not out of the area, I guarantee you I'll be at your show. I mean, that,
Nice.
you know, we played the Looney Bin with you guys, I think once or twice.
Yep.
The first time what was their special that night? It's like steak and a blowjob or something.
Like brisket and a blowjob.
Brisket and a blowjob? I remember the blowjob. I don't remember any brisket.
I had the brisket.
I remember that being on the marquee is like Krash Karma, Left of Reason, steak and a blowjob day. And I was like, did that just say that? And that night they fed us steaks. I remember that.
They They
They fed
definitely
us
always
really
fed
good
us really
steaks, and I
good
kept
there.
looking around like, I'm not seeing a blowjob anywhere.
Oh, you missed that back room? Okay.
There you go. That's what happens when you're direct support for Krash Karma. They don't tell you the back room.
Gotta have the password, you know?
Obviously, somebody didn't give it to me.
Well, shit.
That's the door. Well, shit. So when you're in Europe, do you tour just Germany, or do you hit the other countries?
I mean, so far we played in Austria, Switzerland, Portugal, Germany, Sweden, Finland.
Yeah.
Those are the countries we conquered so far.
So
But
far.
we always definitely can wait to go to Prague, for example,
Poland.
and Hungary. I want to go to Budapest, definitely.
Yeah.
Prague is cool.
I've been there.
We've been there many times,
yeah.
but we never played a show there.
Yeah.
The city is super
I played a show in Prague one time.
Yeah, nice.
One of the biggest times I made an ass of myself ever.
Yeah. Why?
The wall just came down, and touring Eastern Europe was awesome because they treated you like kings. And it was, excuse me, our band was 3 Germans and 2 Americans. Well, we found out very quickly in Eastern Europe, they still kind of hold a beef against the Germans, the 40s. So we figured out quickly that myself and the other guy from Chicago, we did all the talking. Simply,
they like the Americans.
Who are those 3 other guys who follow you? No idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but halfway through this tour, it was like a 6-week tour. I was bored one night, and I realized that they didn't understand a word we said. They didn't understand anything. But if you said the word "fuck," they went crazy. They go, fuck.
Yeah.
So one night I was like, hey, I'm really bored. Who's going to bring the sister? Hey, you're really hot. Can I fuck your sister? And, and saying shit like that. Like, fuck your mother stuff and your sister, all this shit. Every time I say it, they're like, yeah. The guitar player comes over to me and goes, what are you doing? You're going to get us killed. I'm like, they don't know.
They don't know. They knew.
And well, we did this like 5, 6, 7, 8 nights in a row, and it worked perfect. I mean, we just laughed our asses off the whole time. And we went to Prague, and people who've never played in Germany or in Europe, you generally play and then connected to the venue is like a bar. Like you can go there and drink and eat and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we play the show. I do my little stint, and we're in the bar afterwards in the Kneipe, and we're sitting there eating our food, drinking. Really nice girl comes walking up to me, her and 2 of her friends, walks right up to me and says, in perfect English, so you want to fuck my sister, huh?
Awesome.
I turned and looked at her and said, Wie bitte?
No English.
Oops.
And I'm like, but she spoke with like 0 accent. And I'm like, oh, well, are you here visiting? And she goes, no, I went to school 5 years at Northwestern in Chicago. I'm
Nice.
like, oh, this is great. How do I talk my way out of this?
Uh-oh.
Oh, excuse me.
Did you get laid that night?
I know. I hope it ended well. So in the end, it worked.
Yes, but yeah, it's definitely Prague. But I love the city.
I do too.
Holy.
It's amazing, amazing city.
You ever go to that Jewish cemetery?
Yeah.
The one that's like 11 layers deep? I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, did we? I don't know if I went to the one outside of Prague, actually. Yeah.
There's a Jewish cemetery there that's been there for 1,000 years, maybe longer.
Okay.
They wouldn't let them
like
expand
right in the
it.
middle of the city.
Yeah, they
kind
wouldn't
of,
let
right?
it
It's
expand
like-
it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, we went
So they
there.
just
I
put
didn't
more
know-
dirt on and put another layer. More
didn't
dirt,
know-
another layer, and
Crazy.
move the tombstones up. So now they're all like dragon's teeth looking at you.
Wow. Yeah, it's definitely like this one little cornered off area in the town. I remember that.
Does social media help you out in Europe?
Of course.
Definitely.
That's the only way you can stay connected with people, I think.
It's a huge help for us. We definitely connect with a lot of people over there because of that. A lot of stuff still goes on Facebook. You know, we kind of try to move everything to YouTube, but it seems that we connect a lot with people everywhere, more on Facebook right now as of this particular moment. But
how are you driving that number to 65,869?
Yeah.
Growing it. We keep trying to get it more, you know, reach more people.
Like every time when we posted our Blackpink video, that's when we got a lot of followers. When we posted the Damage Inc. video too, Metallica, we got like 1 million views on this on Facebook. And this is how we gained all these people.
Yeah. We're just reaching new people all the time, and that's a good thing. And it's lovely to see.
And I'm happy because, like I said, this is what you guys do. It's not like you get to say, you know, hey, I got to go flip burgers tomorrow. It's like, you know, where you get that consistent check, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you know, well, do I really need that second beer? I think I can drink Keystone Light tonight. I'll be all right.
Yep, gotta watch it.
2021, we talked about that a little bit, playing all over the place. And we talked about Facebook and YouTube. Are there any other social media sites you guys are up on?
Yeah, we use Instagram quite a lot now. That's kind of our other one that we do. What else do we do? I guess we're on all the platforms, but we don't really do the TikTok thing. Not so much.
That's amazing you guys don't do that thing.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah.
Because we like doing videos.
We like videos, yeah.
I don't know. I got the app on my phone. It was like 2 years ago, and then I put it back down, and then it became
year.
It was 2 years ago.
Oh my
and then
gosh,
last year became a big thing again. And every time I opened it, I saw handicapped people dancing, and I don't know what my algorithm was, but it was after a while it was
disturbing.
Disturbing. All right.
Or like teenagers, you know. I think it's more widespread now. Maybe we'll have to give it another shot, but there's only so many hours in a day you can commit to this, you know.
Social media, exactly. Our job is playing music. And
creating.
You know what? And I don't spend a lot of time playing music these days. Most of the time, it's definitely creating and then social media and promoting.
Yeah.
And then promoting. And the amount of time I have to spend on social media promoting what I do, man, that's what I do mainly. And usually I'm a van driver. And then
t-shirt
and then I sell t-shirts.
Yeah.
And then I play a little bit of guitar. And that's basically
after you set up a drum kit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Playing music is like maybe 5% of the 95% that we actually do.
It's crazy.
You've heard of the band Waylon before, I'm sure.
Yeah. We played with them before.
I've heard Phil say many times on stages, we're not really a band, we're a t-shirt company.
Yeah.
You know, we sell t-shirts.
Totally.
And you just brought up another point. We've talked about this with other bands, is people don't realize how much time and effort and travel you do for a 45-minute set of music.
Insane.
Last year, or was this 2 years ago, we played a show.
York?
No, not in New York. That was crazy. But we played for one show we drove to South Dakota.
No, Minnesota. Is that the one you're talking with the snowstorm and all this? Or
No, we talked about this one show we played, the Summer Bash, end of Summer Bash.
Okay.
For last year. We drove like 40 hours for a 1 hour set.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And here's your drink tickets.
Yeah. Now that we would only do it when it's worth it, but you know, still, just the idea of this is like pretty ridiculous.
Like you said, you drive so long for one show, and all the work that goes into it. People don't see this.
No. But I can also say that some of the best things being involved in music is in those drives. Because if you're going to be successful in this business, you better minimally like the people you're with.
Yeah.
Minimally like them.
Yes, it's pretty important.
'Cause I can tell you, like, there's times where we'll be 8-9 hours, like wake up in the morning and go, fuck, we're driving 8 or 9 hours for 45 minutes. I mean, and
We reached this point. If we have to drive under 10 hours to a show, that's doable. That's okay. Anything
we're
under
getting
10.
down to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
When
we
it's
have 5
6 hours,
guys.
it's like
No
nothing.
problem. 6 hours we do like in one sitting. You're gonna pee once. That's it.
Yeah, we have 6 guys in or 5 guys in a van or in a like a shuttle bus.
Mhm.
Yeah, you better hope somebody goes to sleep, you know.
Yeah.
But you have those conversations where you see all the beautiful stuff in both Europe and the United States.
Mhm.
And you experience all these great things. You have these fun conversations in your vehicle, be it a van, a bus, whatever. And they always seem to be at one point where they get the best is when you're, oh yeah, da, 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 da. And then all of a sudden somebody in the conversation takes a left turn
Yeah.
and you're gone for like an hour.
Totally.
And you're all dying laughing and you're like, what were we talking about? And it's usually like, hey, what time do we got us load in? You know, something important, you know. What are some of your funner stories on the road?
Funner stories on the road.
We have crazy stories on the road. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like we paid our dues multiple times. One time, one of the craziest stories was when we were traveling with a Dodge van from 78.
I said,
A
oh, the
78.
mushroom top.
The mushroom top.
Yeah, this one was sweet.
So we were about to go on a mini tour that would lead us from LA to Vegas, Wyoming, Denver, Albuquerque, and back. So just a quick run. We knew it's January. It's gonna be really slippery where we go. It's Wyoming, Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole.
And,
Winter.
in the winter time.
Yeah.
But we didn't really have enough money to buy new tires, and our tires were just slick. So we needed new tires. But we thought, you know what? We're gonna play our first show in Vegas, and with the money we make in Vegas, we're gonna get new tires, and then we drive to Wyoming. Turns out we didn't make enough money to get good tires. So we said,
and I think we partied all night long, so we were not really in the mood. We probably had to get up and leave instead of handle business with tires. And
so we said, fuck it, we don't get new tires. It's gonna be fine. So we start our trip into the mountains. Little did we know that our alternator was about to go out. So we needed a jump start at one point, and we learned that if you keep idling the engine high enough, the van keeps running. But if it's too low, it starts dying, and then you need a jump. So everything was good until we got into the mountains and it started snowing again, and we needed to put on the heater, the wipers, the fans, the lights, and everything basically. Yeah. So it pulled so much electricity that our van died eventually, and we were in the middle of nowhere. So we got the battery out and started walking to the next city, and it was snowing.
In the middle of the mountains, there was no city anywhere near.
When we
made
started,
Nikki carry a car battery.
Oh yeah.
No, I carried it. But right as we started walking, a car came and saw what we were into. So we put the battery back in and got a jump start. So now I'm back in the van, and I know it's like, okay, it's like 10 p.m. and we have to drive to Wyoming, to Jackson Hole. It's going to be another 1.5 hours till we get there. It's mountains, no cell phone reception, and it's cold, and we have to get there. So now I'm speeding through the mountains.
We can't stop the car anymore, or it's going to die again, basically.
And if we stop the car in the mountains with no cell phone reception, we're going to freeze to death, basically. Yeah. So I had to floor our van through the mountains, and Nikki was almost dying.
Yeah.
And I felt like in the movie Speed, you know, if this guy gets below a certain speed, the van explodes. No, it wouldn't explode, but I would die, and he would freeze to death. So I had to make it all the way to
curves like this, S curves the whole way, just like.
But in the end, I made it, and I never forget. We got to Jackson Hole, and that's the red light. I hit the brakes, and we just slide right over the fucking red light
Slid right through.
into a pile of snow, and there the van stuck.
We made it.
We opened the door, and I fell straight in my face because it was so slippery. There was ice everywhere.
But we made
Wow.
it.
I can't say we didn't make a mistake like that early on when I was with Left Freeze and I booked him to Reno and back in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
Don't
Had
tour
to
in
go-
January.
Had to go through Salt Lake and all of that in a nice snowstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Good
fun.
Yeah, slick tires, broken alternator, old van. That was bad.
Yeah.
The next day, we had to drive over the flatlands to Denver. We had like 70-mile winds.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
snowing through the doors. It was because the doors were so old. It was literally snowing through the doors. So we gaffer taped the doors shut from the inside, and then we had hot water bottles that we put between our legs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been. It was.
And we
bad.
made it to that show too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The van made it. I don't know how. It was insane.
All for a 45-minute show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So people, I mean, you always get that. Well, it's good exposure. Do you know the exposure I suffer getting here?
Totally.
Can I please get more than 2 drink tickets and maybe a frozen pizza?
I try this in restaurants all the time. They would never give me the best steak for the exposure somehow.
Yeah, exactly. To remember one. I like that. No, just give me the steak. It's good exposure. I mean,
Good exposure.
I
Look
tell
at
my
me.
friends.
look at me. I eat a lot of steak, so I know steak eaters.
I know steak.
I know steak, believe me. Yeah, so that was one of the crazier ones. I mean, there's
I
all
think-
kinds of stuff.
I think that the craziest stories are always definitely either people die or some van stories.
Yeah,
And we have a lot of van stories. Another crazy van story was when our brake lines was broken. The brake lines were broken from our van, and we were all of a sudden also in the mountains again, with snow, and
Wolf Creek Pass.
I had to prepare
Colorado.
Nikki, get the backpack ready. If the brakes don't work anymore, we're gonna abandon. Just jump out the van.
Yeah.
Luckily,
was
it didn't
nuts.
get to this point, but we were ready to abandon the van.
I had a backpack on with all our stuff in it, boots on with my hand on the door handle, like ready to jump out at any
Tuck
moment.
and roll. Tuck and roll.
That was
I never forget
Band-Aid
Nikki.
shit.
Never forget Nikki's face when I had to break the news to her. Like, we might run out of brake fluid because there was just this tiny road. We drove all the way up, and then we drove down, and there was this guy in front of us with a trailer who was a little too slow. So I was in the first gear, but I still had to step on the brakes. And the day before, we got pulled over by the cops, so I was standing on the brakes for too long. So I knew we lost a bunch of brake fluid. And at one point, the brake fluid's gone, and then that's when the brakes started. So, but luckily, the brake fluid got us
Stress.
to the bottom of the mountain.
Just stress.
Well, all bands are millionaires, aren't you guys? I mean,
Oh yeah, in our hearts.
yeah,
Pesos.
pesos, millions of pesos.
We've got millions of pesos.
Old Eastmark. I mean,
Yes. Ostmark, yeah.
Ostmark. Yeah, that was crazy. What the exchange rate I used to get then. Something like 36 for the dollar or something. It was crazy.
Good.
Yeah. That was a tough.
The crazy thing is you couldn't get them for the dollar. You had to go exchange them for the Westmark and then the Westmark for the Eastmark.
Mhm.
Because if you go over to the East and you gave them a Westmark or a dollar, they just took it as one Eastmark.
Shit.
And you're like, what? No.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's a reason all those American soldiers over there have cases and cases of Russian vodka. I mean, so what social media sites do you guys else do? Do you want to push or do you want to put out there for people to watch?
Yeah, I mean,
For
YouTube is number one. It's always with Krash Karma with a K. We're on all of the social media, Instagram, Facebook, but YouTube and Facebook we kind of do the most. We're getting more active on Instagram, but it's always Krash Karma, KrashKarma, and
Or
you'll find us.
go to our webpage.
Yeah, webpage.
Crashkarma.com.
Mm-hmm. And that has links to everything.
I, I, I absolutely love Germans. I really do. Berlin's my favorite city in the world by far and away.
I love Berlin. It's amazing.
And
Oh, have you seen our video, our sacrifice video?
yes,
Another crazy story. So we had
That's
this.
in Berlin.
We had this.
Is it?
We had this. Yes, that's in Berlin, and we're
Yeah.
like, we need to shoot this video. And I had this idea. What if Nikki sings a song in her underwear and she has only a cross that she drags through a city, urban setting? So like, where can we film this? We're like, okay, we're gonna be on tour. We're gonna be in Berlin. So I built this cross in
I
Stuttgart.
swear to God, I watched that this morning, Nikki, and I'm like, is that New York or is that from an U-Bahn stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Berlin.
You gotta check it out.
Check it out again. Now
because
watch it again.
because the performance shots, they were all shot in Chicago. But
yeah.
Nikki in the underwear, that's in Berlin.
On
And
the coldest day of the year.
and there was the crazy, we played the crazy show in Berlin in a swinger club. There was like this crazy sex swinger club where people get blowjobs on the fucking dance floor. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we played this great show. We have an after party till 6 a.m. in the morning. And then we sleep for 2 hours, wake up, and then I go to a rental place where I rent a camera and a lens. And then we just drive all around Berlin. And it's in the mid-winter. It's like -degrees. Nikki with a little coat and underwear. And then we go to the Brandenburger Tor. And now let's shoot this. And all the people, the tourists, are just like, what the hell
So
is this?
you were coming out of the U-Bahn and Brandenburg tour.
And the Reichstag and all of this. I was like, check it out again and you'll notice the site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Brandenburg tour, that was in the old East.
No, there was the Brandenburger Tor is what separates the west from the east.
Correct. But when the wall was up,
Yeah.
the gate, the Brandenburg Gate for Americans,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Brandenburg Gate
Yeah.
was on the east side.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was on the east side of the wall. Because I remember going to the Reichstag and doing all that stuff. And I'm like, man, I really would like to go to there. And everybody looked at me when I first got to Berlin going, good luck. I
Yeah.
mean, even when you go visit the east, you can't go there.
That
Right.
gate's closed for you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, even the U-Bahn stop that went through there in those days was closed to us, even though we could drive through it.
Yeah.
You would go through it, it never stopped, and they'd see all the East German guards standing on the platforms.
Wow.
Like, nobody's getting on or off here. Just keep going.
Wow. That's nuts.
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, way to go, Ralph. Put the girl out in the cold.
Oh yeah. He's always got the greatest ideas.
Nikki hated me. That was so bad. But you know what? The pain in her face, that's real
Yeah.
in the video.
I couldn't have done it. I'm a terrible actress, so it's like it had to be that way. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come out as good as it did.
But we were on tour and we had to drive for like 8 hours with a life-size cross for a few days, in a van. It's like, yeah, we need this for the video shoot that we do in Berlin.
Really?
That was awesome.
You show up to unload, and they're like, no, you can leave the cross in there.
Yeah.
I think we left it in Berlin,
cross-
right?
I think one of us, we definitely left
We're
it in
done. We're
Berlin.
like, that stays here.
And at the Reichstag, you cannot leave the cross here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna wear the cross.
Ein Kreuz hier. Yeah. I think we've covered almost everything. And honestly, you guys, everything I thought you were going to happen. Those of you who don't know, I had just horrible glitches when we first tried to start doing this. And I appreciate your guys' patience while we got them ironed out.
Problem.
And it's been a lot of fun, and it's a blast talking to you guys. I always have fun when I see you guys. Highly recommend everybody, when the world decides it's not going to be a dick anymore, and you see Krash Karma come through your town, your city, your area, wherever, don't sit back and go, well, what is that? Go check them out. I'm telling you, they're worth every dollar you pay to get through the door. They really are. Buy their merch, go to their YouTube channels, go to their websites, go to it all. They work their asses off, and this is what they do. I mean, I talk to a lot of independent music people, and you've got the ones that are great weekend warriors, and they find the lesser jobs that let them go on tour. And then you've got the few like you guys who said, this is it. This is what we're going to do until we make it. And sometimes it gets thin. So I'm asking you guys, support them. Go to their YouTube channel. It's cool.
Okay.
Other than that, is there anything else you want to say to anybody before we?
Yes, when is this gonna air?
This will probably be up tomorrow.
Sweet.
Great.
We have a new song come out for all the Cobra Kai fans. Strike first, strike hard, sweep the leg. It's gonna
Sweep
be
the leg.
it's gonna be our first single for this year. It's pretty badass.
Yeah. On January 22nd, it'll be out on all streaming platforms. So go check it out. And we have an awesome video.
And find the video on YouTube. Exactly. It's gonna be epic.
Yeah, I've been editing these things. They've usually been, Spotify will usually go up for sure tonight or tomorrow. And as soon as Spotify shows up, I do the YouTube. I throw the video up
Cool.
on there.
Send us the link.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the link. And you know what? If you want to kind of push my link while you guys on your guys,
Absolutely.
Of course.
That's
I
why.
have the feeling you guys know social media a little bit better than me. I don't have 65,000 followers, but it's been a blast. Thank you guys very much for being on. I look forward to playing again with shows with you guys, or just going to your show. Thank you guys very much.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
All right.
Anytime. Stay safe and healthy.
Yes.
You too. Stay very safe, very healthy. Maybe next time, and I'll go see my daughter in LA, and I'll give you a quick text and see if you guys are up, or
Yeah, for sure.
if you want visitors. Some people don't, but I get it.
A 6 foot away visit.
Yeah. And a mask.
In a-
You have a garden.
yeah.
All right.
All right, cool.
I'll talk to you later.